I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy, 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 boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Jamaican herbs and spices add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right, people, it is the big show. It is the Schoolboy Football Show with your host, Manning's Man, and our panelists, our astute and highly esteemed Schoolboy Football analysts who will be joining us tonight for this big show as we wait in anticipation for the semifinals of the Manning and the Costa Cup, and also for the Champions Cup. Yes, people, all things have been decided, and things are going to be on fire. And tonight's show, one of the things we want to do is to select a best 11 from the Manning Cup. And so that is going to be a very interesting time as we select a best 11. But I want to thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for being a part of this show. Also want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Trick Nick. Trick Nick is a Jamaican-owned and operated company in Canada. They use authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products. And guess what? They're offering 25% discount on all their products. All you have to do is shop at www.tricknick.ca and use the code I am sure sports 001 and you will get your discount. In fact, between Friday and Sunday, we will be offering you a full package of Trick Nick products. Along with that, you'll get their brand new recipe book that was released on the 7th of December, and that is going to be good. The products are awesome, people. You need to taste them because I know you will not waste them. I am so happy to see some of you. I see Leon Price, the Manning's Man in the building. Crazy RTV in the building. Fresh God in the building. And I see Top 10. The Edwin Allen man has returned. People, he went in. No. He went into hibernation after the Edwin Allen dental game. But he has resurfaced. Good to see you, top 10. Good to see you, Jay Simmons. I see the Manning's people jumping onto the stream. Claudia Hodges, I've been missing you. You were not up with me at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. Claudia, how did you miss that? Don't tell me you go to work so early. It's 9 to 5, ain't it? But good to see you, Claudia. But blessings, people. Hope you're doing well. Hope all things are in, yeah, you're there, preparing for the festive season. Yeah, man. I just did a video with Michael Tuller, right? And he said, listen, he forgot one name, right? He was speaking about the unsung ones. And you know how those things are. Yeah, so he forgot one name, and that's Mr. Clennon Clark. People, that's one of the persons I'm so anticipating. When you talk about person that has all the information, Mr. Clennon Clark has all the information. He's yet to come on, but let's see if the year 2022 will have some of these persons just break out and come on to the show. Oh, you were there on Monday? I need to check. I didn't see you, Claudia. I am so sorry. I did not see you. How could I miss you? I mean, there are so many comments, but good to have you all. Well, are you aware of, well, you would have heard by now that the Clarendon College team, having come out of a bout of sickness, that they qualified for the semifinals. Easy win over McGrath. I did ask God. I'm so sorry. It's been so long, right? I did ask your question, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, there we go. But they defeated McGrath 3 goals to 1, and Manchester defeated Clarendon College, which was a game of really no interest because both teams qualify for the Ben Francis, and Clarendon is the next semi-finalist in the DaCosta Cup, and they will go up against their Clarendon rivals, Garvey Maceo. Many people are saying that that is going to be a good game. And the second semifinal will be also two good teams, the DaCosta Cup favorites. Many have Dintil as a favorites for lifting the DaCosta Cup. They'll be going against Mannings, the Mannings school that has not yet lost a match. So there are three teams who have not lost a match. Garvey Maceo, Mannings, and Dintil. The only team so far who have lost in the semifinal is Clarendon College. They lost, I think 1 goal to 0 to Glenmuir in the preliminary stages of the competition. So, but of the coaches, only one of these coaches have won a title, and that's Lenroy Teacher Hyde. And so he has the experience coming into this one. So it will be a very, very, like I said, a very, very interesting time. In fact, we have an interview with Leonard Hyde. So just give me a few. I'm going to play that interview for you. So this is after the game, Clarendon College versus McGrath. We did an interview. Our man on the ground there, Javon Parchment, of Unseen Sport, and I am sure Sports was there, and he covered that interview. So let's see, let's hear what Mr. Hyde had to say. So let's see if we can have you here, Mr. Hyde, speaking after Clarendon College easily disposed of McGrath.
Action.
Lenworth Hyde, coach of Clarendon College.
So Lenny, how was it? I heard that news about the team that the team are a little mishaps to me. sickness and stuff like that. So how it was to get them to prepare for this game?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I just see at halftime we have to be giving them some magnesia for the stomach. They still have the bug there. Some of them about 5 to 6 of them today. So the performance that we got today, we just have to take it. And it's good that we had the background training and the preparation for these games. So technically we were okay, and I think the organization was okay, and that's what we asked of them. The energy level wasn't up there, the intensity wasn't up there, but we'll take the 3 points.
So how you move forward in this competition?
Yeah, man. Next round, Champions Cup coming up, and the semi-final of the Costa Cup. So every game is a final now. But we have time now to prepare, so we have to lift up the preparation for this remaining matches and see what we can get out.
I think in the semi-final it's going to be more coaching, tactical, teaching to the young kids. You're going up against the assistant national coach, Miranda. How that battle will go?
Well, we don't know about that. We could deal with the champions. We have some good teams, Kingston College, Jamaica College, Stats, and who else? Who's the next team? So we don't know which one of them we're going to try yet. So our focus is on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, man. There you go.
All right, you heard it from the teacher. The teacher is focused. Big up, Coach Lenny, I my friend. What a thing. Hey, listen, I don't know how. Because listen. Which one of the audio? Top 10. Is it my audio or is it the audio from the interview? I don't know. Let me know. Are you hearing me clearly, people? Because Top 10 asking about the audio. Or was it the audio from the interview? Which one? The audio, you know that it's at the field, so you have the footballers in the background making some noise. But let me say this. Listen, you know that I respect, I see Everton Jackson saying that, man is man. I am hoping my maroon and gold boys take care of against Mannings in the semi-final. Boy, I'm hoping that the Blues from Westmoreland they take care of it till in the semi-final. Oh, jeez. All right, what I'll say though is that listen, Mannings is my school, and of course I want Mannings to win. But there are some very good teams. I think Garvey Maceo has a very good team, and they have a very good coach. Right? Very good team, very good coach. Dintil, very good team, very good system, very good coach. Mannings, very good team, very good coach. All right? Clarendon College, Lenore Teacher Hyde. People, let me say it again. He has done it on multiple occasions. All right? So do not underestimate experience in all of this. In all of this. And of all the teams in the semifinals, Clarendon College is the most experienced of them all. So I think there are I think the semifinal, for me, I don't know what you think, but I think the semifinals in the Da Costa Cup are going to be way more competitive than the semifinals in the Manning Cup. You know what I think? I think like if though they're not in and Stats deserve to be there, having gotten the opportunity, Stats deserve to be there. But for some reason, I think like if there was a second matchup with Mona and Casey, I would have enjoyed that. To see what a second matchup would have looked like. If Camperdown were still in there, but listen, again, these Charlie Smith team, nobody really had them on their radar, and they have come through. Same thing with Stats. Like I keep telling people, Philip Williams, when I watched the JPL this season, he was a coach at Tivoli Gardens. And I remember the first game that Tivoli played, and I was saying, what is wrong with Tivoli? They just never looked like the Tivoli team. Tivoli ended up finished third in the JPL. He's a very, very good coach. For several years, he had the Stats team in the finals of the Manning Cup. So don't just, I think we're going to see some very competitive schoolboy football semi-final in the Manning Cup, in the Da Costa Cup. And I also believe that the Flow Cup, the Champions Cup, sorry, I keep saying Flow Cup, the Champions Cup is going to be interesting as well. We also have a next interview. We have
My name is Jaime Rose.
we have the Clarendon College player who was the man of the match that we for that game with Clarendon College playing against McGrath. Clarendon College, as you know, won that game by 3 goals to 1. We have an interview again with him. So I'm going to play that for you right now. So let's see if we can bring that up so you can hear this interview.
My name is Jaime Rose.
Jeremy was, we heard some news that your team had sickness and stuff like that. How was it for you guys to come here and perform and get a win for this game?
Well, it was actually very difficult, but we actually pulled through because during the game, some of us were actually still a bit unwell, but we dug deep and we got the desired result
How
today.
much goal you scored today?
I didn't score any goal today, but I assisted two. I assisted two.
Alright, so I have you as I am for man of the match for this game. I saw you dominating on the wing and making a lot of runs inside the box. So I'll give you that you're a quality player, and I wish you to do well and go further into professional settings.
Alright,
How far do you see your team going this year?
as I said before, we're actually going for the triple crown this year. So we're just taking it one step at a time, remaining humble, continue working hard, and we're sure we get it.
The Wolmer's team miss you a lot, you know that.
Yeah, I know that, man.
Alright, thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Alright, listen.
All right, there you go. The Wolmerian who moved to Clarendon College. I will not get into that. I will not get into that one. You understand me? But you know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is. Yes, but that was Rose. He was the goal scorer there for the well, he assisted and tore the goals for Clarendon College. Didn't he need to win the D Cup for Frank Brown? You know what? Even that I said, I think that one of the added motivation for Dintil and Excelsior this year, because Frank Brown worked with Excelsior and Dintil. I think the first time Dintil won the Da Costa Cup, Frank Brown was the actual coach, and it would be something good for them to give him and sing. It's just that you don't know a Manning's man and they're going to play against Manning. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it's going to be. So Glendale face, you understand that, but I think it would be good for them to get some silverware, but not the silverware that they're going to play against Manning's with. Against Manning's, I don't know how I feel about 19-year-old beating up 14 to 15 years old. That is um i.e. JC. No, but isn't I think the KC team is the oldest team in the league, I think I think the KC team is one of the older teams in the league. Listen, and I know why they do it, but I don't think it is the best thing for the football at the schoolboy level. That's just me. But I know what Issa is trying to accomplish, because Issa is here like, this is sport for our kids. That's what they see. And if you are in at a Issa school, you are supposed to play. That's just it. So that's how Issa see it. Issa don't see age. Issa see you are one of our kids, you can play. So kudos to the team who can get 19-year-olds. Blessing management. Thanks for the update and the insight and the schoolboy football games listening in. Yeah, man. So there are some quality players. Let me say talent, and part of the thing that I hope this year that the talent gets harnessed, like, and don't let them go through. We have at least 11 players who participated in the JPL, at least 11, who were in Manning and the Costa Cup teams. And that's good. It means that these boys were playing against grown men in the JPL and they're playing schoolboy football. The best of both worlds. You'd also have noticed that the JPL last season, for the first time, it was predominantly youth players. And so I think, with all the negative, there are some good things. I I felt like some of these kids should not have gone back to play schoolboy football. There's one youngster that I rate highly, Tariq Zemeniz. He plays for JC now, but he is a Harborview player. Pearson. Like these guys, I just didn't think that they should have gone back to play. But I mean, I can't fight them. But that's just my thought. I think they are me too as well. I think they are at a higher level because of the level of football they played in the JPL. Um, but yeah, but that's just my thought. But a 19-year-old, you're right, Claudia, playing against a 15-year-old. Um, yeah, I agree with you. Um, yeah, 19-year-old is really, you can vote. Are you still a kid? I wonder how it is in high school sports in the States. Don't you stay until you're 19 in the States before you're going to college? A lot of 19-year-old play high school sports. A lot of 19-year-old play their senior year in high school in the States as well. Yeah, Mannings versus Dintil matchup should be epic. Definitely will be one for the books. Unfortunately, the winner of that duel won't win it. Hey, you know what I need? Hey, people, I need a producer, right? I need a producer. I need a producer who can read some of these comments before. You understand me? Because if I didn't see this last part, Stephen Mitchell, but a juggernaut in CC, I would not have put it up. You hear that? But I love that. Listen, I have Chris, the sports guy, um, here. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Means I'm a busy man, so not gonna be able to stay long, but always good to be on the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Always good having you. Listen, I know you won't be able to stay long, so give us your thoughts on the semi-finalist for the money and the Casca Cup. I haven't heard from you since the semi-finalist has been established.
Expected based on the performance that they've had. I think one of the most exciting groups was the group with of course Garvey Masia. Um, that was that was a very good affair because it was not necessarily points but goals scored. And Garvey Masia scoring 12, Stets only managed six. So Garvey Masia was able to go on goal difference with a plus 14, while Stets are in the Walker Cup,
Ben
which
Francis.
I think
Ben
is the
Francis.
Ben Francis Cup, which I think is their competition, to be honest, especially with Rambo Wedderburn. They came on second. So congratulations to Garvey Masia. Clarendon College, we know, will be facing Garvey Masia in the semifinals. That I believe is going to be a very good matchup between those two. I want to see what Garvey Masia has against Clarendon College, the defending champions. Lenny Hyde, just like Jamaica College, Clarendon College got off to a slow like start, but they're they're unable. They were able to find their groove, and they were able to really start the engine that they know they can. And then I think that Lenny Hyde, the technical director, um, I think he has gotten them going. But the semi-finalists are good. Of course, your school has to be mentioned. Mannings has done pretty well. I think they have a running to win the Acosta Cup. It's going to be difficult. Dintil Technical has proven that they're good, great defensively. They're yet to concede a goal in the Acosta Cup this season, and that is some feat, And it doesn't matter what you say. You get put the competition that is put for you, you have to play them. You can't really cuss about it, but the fact that they've been able to go through the first and the second round of schoolboy football of the Da Costa Cup and are yet to concede a goal defensively, they've been sound. So you have to give it up to them. So boom, those are the semi-finalists. Gardmaseo, Dintil Technical, Mannings High School, and Clarendon College. Now on to the semi-finalists for the Manning Cup. Two of them expectedly went to the semi-finals, Kingston College and of course Jamaica College, the defending champions. As I said, just like Clarendon College, they found their footing. They started slow, found their footing, and now they're in the semi-finals of the Manning Cup. Kingston College are the big preseason favorites. They're the top preseason favorites to win the Manning Cup, and they've proven why they've been the top favorites. They've not lost a game all season. They've been consistent. There are also times where they lapse a little bit, but they're very strong. I think Barclay, Pearson, they've been really good for Kingston College, you know. And then now you look at Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith, I don't think anybody expected them to reach the semifinals. So kudos to them for reaching the semifinals. I don't think a lot of people expected them. I think that Excelsior, that match against Charlie Smith where they lost 2-1, I think that was a big result for Charlie Smith. And they took that with confidence and they qualified for the semifinals. Now on to St. Andrew Technical. This is dangerous waters for a lot of other teams. Not St. Andrew Technical, but a lot of other teams. And the reason why I say they're dangerous waters for the other teams, they have gone to 4 straight semifinals. 4 straight with Coach Williams. 4 straight. 2017, 2018, 2019, and now 2021 semifinals for Philip Williams. This is a man that was given a lifeline to come to the second round. This is a guy that got a lifeline, right? The last time a school got a lifeline like this, Dintil Technical, was when Xavier Gilbert was the coach of Dintil Technical 2 years ago, and he went to the finals of the Da Costa Cup. Yeah. And it is something that you have to look at. Now, Philip Williams really took it, and not only took it, but smashed that opportunity and started off with a 4-1 win against St. Catherine, has gone on now to the semifinals, and he's playing a familiar opponent, Mannings, man. The 2 times that Stats have gone to the finals of the Manning Cup, they played Kingston College in the semifinals of the Manning Cup. So when you look at that, Kingston College doesn't have necessarily a good record against St. Andrew Technical in the semifinals, but I think this is a stronger team now, but they still have to be careful because this is not the first time that Coach Philip Williams has encountered the man Ludlow Bernard, not just in schoolboy football, but the league in general.
And even in the JPL.
So,
in the JPL.
I'm barely hearing you.
In the JPL as well.
Yeah, exactly. So in the JPL, he faced him, and I think Tivoli Gardens got the better of them on more occasions than not. So I think that Tivoli Gardens had grabbed more points from them. So I think this is just a revenge for Ludlow Bernard. I think this is a redemption for him. And it is something that he has to look at. He has to be very tactically sound, Ludlow Bernard, because he needs to beat Coach Philip Williams, because if he does, then it's gonna be difficult for a lot of those for Ludlow to bounce back somewhat. It is something that he has to look at, and he has to look at very, very carefully, because as I said before, in 2017 and 2019, when St. Andrew Technical went to the Manning Cup finals, they faced Kingston College when they were big preseason favorites in the Manning Cup, and they lost. So Ludlow has to be careful with Coach Philip Williams and what he's been able to do. But kudos to them, and those are the semi-finalists. I think that is the matchup that I want to see, St. Andrew Technical versus Kingston College, because of the history for the past 4 years that these two have faced off in, whether it is the local league or whether it is Manning Cup. But Coach Philip Williams in these situations have gotten the better of Ludlow Bernard since he has taken up St. Andrew Technical. So I think that what he has been able to do, given that lifeline, is exceptional. And I think that if he continues with that confidence in his coaching, trust me, it's gonna be very dangerous for him.
Yeah. I mean, very some important information there you shared, Chris. Really, really good information. But let me give the people some info so they can know what else is happening. All right. So, like I said, here are the semifinals. It will be Jamaica College versus Charlie Simmet and Kingston College versus St. Andrew Technical. The DaCosta Cup semis will see Clarendon College versus Garvey Maceo, and then Dintil will play against Mannings. All right. Over now in the Walker Cup, it will be Mona High versus Kingston Technical High, and Excelsior will play against St. Catherine High. That is the Walker Cup. So Mona are still in the running to win a trophy this year. Is it possible? I know they had 2 players red carded. So do those red cards go over into into, or it's a different competition, or is it the same competition?
I'm not 100% sure. I would have to look into that. But I think if the normal rules apply, then of course it will not matter where that is concerned. So I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But I honestly think it's a shot. Um, I honestly think it's a shot. I'm telling you. I think that Craig Butler, what he's been able to do with this team, I think what he's been able to do has been astonishing. You know, it's just something that you really have to look at. It's something that you really have to look at. They have the confidence and they have the team. I think that what happened is that discipline got the better of Mona in the second round, and I think that was one of the reasons why. Because in the first round, in the first round of Manning Cup, I think they were very disciplined, and I think that was the reason why they were able to get out of the first round. I think that discipline played a huge part in them getting out of the first round, but it also played a huge part in a negative way for them to drop out of the second round. But they do still have a shot. Not only them, but one team that I really was impressed with, that I think deserve a trophy this year, is Kingston Technical. The first round of the Manning Cup, they really impressed me. And what impressed me a lot, Manning's man, was their discipline. Their discipline. They were one of the most disciplined teams in the first round of the Manning Cup, and it was so sad that they were not able to capitalize on that discipline in the second round, and they were not even able to get third in the group. I think they were bottom in the group. So I feel bad for them in that.
Yeah, didn't they play Mona as well in that zone? Mona was in their zone.
Yeah, it was Jay. It was it? Who was it?
Because
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was
Katie.
Charlie.
Katie,
Katie,
oh,
Charlie,
no, yeah, right.
And KC.
Right,
Mona was in JC's group.
Huh?
Mona and JC were in the same group. Katie and Mona wasn't in the same group.
No, man. Mona and KC were in the same group. They played the first game, remember? And KC won 2-0.
Oh yes. You're right.
Yeah.
So it's just a shot for them, but I think Mona and Katie would be the how should I put it, the better story to win a trophy. So I think that it is something that we need to look at. So I'm rooting for those two teams.
Yeah, but both of them playing each other in the semifinals, you know. It is Mona versus
Katie. I know Katie versus Mona, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody,
so like I said, either one of them, there has to be a winner in the semifinals. So and also person should know that the um well, all right. So let me answer Gunner's question. Holy Trinity. All right. So I think the resources for a lot of these players and a lot of these schools really is a big factor. Now, I was told that Holy Trinity's players, not all of them have been vaccinated, and the sufficient amount that needed to be vaccinated to play the season, they were not able to play it. So that is the reason why the Holy Trinity was not involved in Manning Cup this season either. So whether they were, how should I put it, able to enter, I don't think that in terms of the rules got regarding vaccination, they were not able to get it, and that's why a lot of schools were not able um to participate in the Manning Cup and the Da Costa Cup this year.
very important point you made, right? I think there's a little feedback, Chris, but the point you made is so important because I want people. The one issue I had with and I'm all for the rule of vaccinating to play, but the issue I had is that many schools were not allowed to participate because they didn't have enough vaccinated players, and some of that had to do with the availability of the vaccine in terms of time for register. I don't know, but this is what I've heard. All right. The other issue though is this, that some of these players will not be able to play again because this would have been their last season because they missed the
The
2020.
season before, right.
Yeah. So it is very, it's a very, very difficult situation. Big up Eddie Guna from Sports Down the Middle in in in
Yeah,
in in,
man.
in the house. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think that
Hayden
I
Steele
think
just
it's
arrived in
sad.
Blessing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, bless up yourself, Layden. I think it's very unfortunate for a lot of those students where they cannot necessarily um play another season. Well, not even necessarily they can't play another season because the 2020 season where they would have probably shown the most, they can't do that, and then the availability of the vaccine was a problem. That to me is another discussion to be had because I believe that there should have been separate vaccines available for the student athletes in order for us to go forward with, of course, with school sports. So it's something that has to be discussed as well. But I mean, it was made known to a lot of people, a lot of um, a lot of schools, and I think the schools, and it all comes back to resources. Resources is very important management because there are certain schools that are able to go out and able to get those stuff done while some schools are not able to do that. So I think that also that plays a part in it. But I would love to see Trinity back next year because this season proves that we can, in fact, put on schoolboy football and it can be run successfully. So I hope that next season they're able to be involved because the more the merrier, in my opinion. To me, I think that a lot of schools that have potential, as schools that have a lot of potential, are missing out because of the rules and regulations that are not able to be followed.
You know what? I like because Issa tried, but like, and I agree. No, I don't think anyone can blame Issa because a lot of this is resources of the schools. One, and then there are some parents who don't believe in vaccination, and so their kids won't get vaccinated. So if you have, for example, five players, say, God forbid, you have four of your best players decide that for religious reasons or for other health reasons, they are not going to get vaccinated. Some schools will opt not to be in the competition. You understand what I mean? Because it's such a difficult thing, because at the end of the day, it's a person's right. So if a person has the right not to, and they choose, like, all right, let me give you an next one, because the JPL, Mr. Christopher Williams from he's the head of the chairman for the JPL, has said that only vaccinated players will be able to participate in the JPL in the next, which is supposed to start. No, that that I know the reason for that, but that is going to exclude some people, because there are persons who don't want to be vaccinated for whatever reason. So how do you not make them feel um, excluded, but still provide protection from the virus?
It's all right. Let me tell you this. I always talk to people about this, and I always have this discussion about this, and this is the problem that I have, right? Now, um, for whatever personal reasons you don't want to participate, that's fine. But the rules of the land, the law that governs the land, the organizations have to abide by it. That's just how it goes. I mean, I am sure that that La Liga, I'm sure that Ligue 1 in France, I'm sure that the Belgian, the Pro League, I know, I'm sure that the Russian Premiership, the Scottish Premiership, the English Premier League, the Bundesliga would love for the players to play, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated. But this is what the reality is right now, management. A lot of people don't want to hear it. A lot of people don't want to listen to it. A lot of people don't care. But this is the rules of the land. Vaccinated persons are going to get certain opportunities more than unvaccinated people. And the organizations want to keep it running, because in order for these organizations to run, they need money. And money equals television rights, they equal sponsorship from companies that some of them don't even have anything to do with football. They need the sponsorship, they need the TV rights. In order for them to do that, they have to run the club. And in order for them to run the club, if they don't follow the rules of the country that they are in, them can't just say, all right, well, I'm going to go to another country, because this is a global pandemic. This is not a regional pandemic. This is a global pandemic where it's happening across the world. And most countries have vaccination rules in place.
Yeah.
And it is something that you have to follow. So a lot of those organizations are saying, listen, we would love for you to play for us, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, but we have to follow the rules of the governing nation. That is the thing.
Yeah, this is a very good point. Eddie gonna bring up Kyrie Irving, for example, of the Nets. He refuses to get vax, and they stopped him from playing. But the reason why I ask is that because I don't think all the players in the EPL vaccinated. I don't think so. So there is a way,
I don't think so.
yeah, because so there is a way I think for players to still play without being vaccinated. I guess because they probably stay in a bubble. Because I know that there are persons for religious reasons in the Premier League who have not been vaccinated, but they still represent their teams. So is it that they test them regularly? They provide testing. So could there have been an option where ISA says, listen, if you have players and they don't want to be vaccinated, the school have to do a PCR test every time they play? You understand me? Or and could there have been some other option instead of if you don't get vaccinated, you can't play? Like the JPL, maybe the JPL can say, as an example, if you're unvaccinated, your club will have to cover the expense at our designated testing site for the person to play. Could that
Yeah,
be a
that could be an option. I mean, in retrospect, you're indirectly telling them to get vaccinated, because to to go through all of that now, it's going to take a lot of money
Oh,
because
right.
PCR testing is not cheap. PCR testing, I think, is almost $20,000 or over $20,000. The antigen test is not as accurate as the PCR test, and most places, in terms of sports, requires a PCR test, not the antigen test. That is not as detailed as the PCR test, which is why most sporting disciplines, most of them requires you, not even most, all of them requires you to have a PCR test. That's the reason why, because it's more detailed. You're able to get a more accurate answer if you have COVID or not when you do the PCR test, and that's much more expensive. An antigen test is like what, 7,000, 8,000, maybe 9,000.
The antigen is around
The
7,000.
antigen test is maybe about 7,000, or so. The PCR test is over 20,000. So I understand what you're trying to say, because you're saying that, listen, you know, you basically indirectly saying that, okay, listen, you're going to have the PCR test, or you're going to get vaccinated. Because if you look at it, that's over $100,000 for 5 games alone. And I know that a lot of those people are not going to pay $100,000 for 5 games just to get tested and to make sure that they're available. So I think that I understand your strategy, you know, management. Don't think I don't understand your strategy. I understand the strategy where that is concerned. But like I said, this is the rules. This is the laws of the land. This is how they govern their organizations.
Because a school could have said, listen, I don't know, maybe the past students would have been willing to pay the money to do the test. But if the kid don't want to do I don't know, I'm just thinking that maybe you can at least present the options to people and let them choose. And if you understand me, like, present the options, let them make a choice. And if they choose not to, then they at least, like, but it shouldn't be that the only option is vax or out kind of a thing. But like, for example, if I run an organization and somebody says, listen, I don't want to take the vaccine, but they're an asset to the company, I would then say to them, all right, fine, you don't want to take the vax. Here's the thing. When you come to work, you have to present a PCR test. So I give them an option. You understand me? But you know that this program is only going to get better now because I have a fellow gunner on it. So
yeah, man. Greetings, people. Big up Chris, big up Mannings, man. Big up everybody in the chat.
Greetings, Eddie. Been a while, my friend. Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
No, I've not abandoned ship.
Next time, always next time.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm good, you know, just, you know, checking up on you guys, you know, convo.
Yeah, man.
Good discussion.
What are your thoughts on it, though? I mean,
I'm a little bit more harsh, you know. I believe that, you know, the players have to just understand that, you know, if organizers is saying that, you know, you have to be vaxxed. And if you're serious about football, you go out and get the job. You know, it's a new reality, new times that we're living in. So if you're not serious, go and get a 9 to 5. For me, it's so harsh, but it's the reality, as I said before in the comment section.
It's tough, you know, because then you have a 15-year-old who wouldn't mind getting the job, but the parent says no, because the child can't go and do it without the parent consent. And so sometimes it's not the child who don't want to do it, it is that the parent will not allow it, because I don't think a child can do the vaccine without parental consent. Right? That's yeah. So how do you still understand that it is not the child, it is the parent?
But Mannings, I think you're going to need, at some point, the child will need it for school. Isn't that correct? Just to enter school.
But school give them an option. School says, all right, if you want face to face, the school says if you want face to face, you do it. But if you want if you don't, if not, do online. So there is, you understand what I was saying earlier, Chris? There is a next option. So so what happened? There's no option with the football.
Yeah, I think that, but I agree with Eddie. I agree 100% with Eddie. I mean, that's what I've been saying. That is the law and the rules of the governing body. That is what it is. That is how. That is what they set aside. That is what they put forward. And if you are serious about it, then of course you would want to get the job. Now, here's my thing about the child now. Here's my thing about the child. No, you're going to now destroy a child's dream of becoming a professional footballer because you're not his belief, you know. Your belief is that he shouldn't get it. So you're going to withhold a child's dream of becoming a professional footballer because you think that getting the job is no big deal. Not getting it is no big deal. I mean, there are plenty of things that you have to do for work. There are plenty of things that you have to do for work management, and you can attest to it, Eddie can attest to it, that you don't want to do, but you have to do it. I mean, I'm not saying that you should, if I'm not saying that if a club like, let me use Arsenal for example, say, listen, jump off a cliff, don't use a parachute, you must do it. But there are certain things that, even though you may not see it as okay because you have an opinion on it, and you have to do it, you still have to do it because at the end of the day, it is the rules that are set in place. You have to be vaccinated in order to play, then you just have to get the job. I'm not saying that everything you must, that the club say you must do it, or everything the company say you must do it, but this is something. We're living in an uncertain time. We need to understand, and I think this is one of the main problems that we have when it comes to the vaccine. Many persons think that the FDA, the different organizations are saying once you take the vaccine, you're immune to the virus. That's not the case. You have a better chance of fighting the virus if you get vaccinated. That is the point, and a lot of people are not getting that. A lot of people are not understanding that. And I think that is one of the big problems that we have with the vaccine. People think that once you take it, you should be immune to it. That's not it. And to be honest, most vaccines don't give you immunity. You are still susceptible because I can tell you, me did get the vaccine for measles, I'm going to catch it same way when I was younger. So it doesn't necessarily give you immunity. It gives you a better chance of fighting it. If you are to get it, you are better able to fight it. Saying all of that to say this, I agree with what Eddie is saying. If this is the rules that are governing La Liga Santander, Ligue 1 in France, Bundesliga in Germany, Belgian Pro League in Belgium, Scottish Premiership in Scotland, Eredivisie in Netherlands. If this is what is governing it, then I think that they need to do it if they want to continue their career. That's just my thing.
You know what I would ask you, Eddie, if this 17-year-old who, for maybe by parent or their own, well, I would say by parent decide not to take the vaccine, right? Here. But say Real Madrid calls that same child and say, listen, we want you to come play for Real Madrid. What you think?
I'm put an offer on the board. Totally different thing. Different thing. And I believe I think if the child is that talented, I don't think the parents will hold back the child as it relates to taking the vaccine. I think you'll get that more if you're an ordinary baller, not so special. You might get a fight back from the parents. But if you're a spectacular talent, I don't see that happening. And a good point that Chris raised, we're seeing the vaccine being, a must over the world. So, you might as well get it from now because you're going to need it. You have to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. Let me ask you next question that Claudia and we were having a discussion a little earlier about, because she was concerned that the 19-year-olds in the Manning Cup are playing against the 15-year-olds. And I'm saying, ISA don't see age. ISA see these are ISA students. And if you're an ISA student, you can play in an ISA competition.
Competition, yeah.
Right? No, I think one other person said that in the United States, kids leave high school at 18. All right. So at 19, you don't get to play high school sport. No, we are changing this whole thing about years of staying into school, I think, next year. So now you're gonna have more 19 years, 19 years old in the high school system.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time to consider how we do the competition, where we say you have a competition for those who are between 16 and 19? But if a school of a 15-year-old who is very good, you can put him there. But should there be, like, now that kids are going to stay in school until they're 19 years old, should we find a way of like separating this? Like, you know, our no school will have an advantage.
You know, who's that question for?
Let's go with you, Eddie man. I want to hear what your thoughts.
Oh, ah, I believe in giving everybody equal opportunity. So if as Issa say, if you're a Issa student or you're 19, fair enough, you get a chance. I don't see having a cutoff, but because as you say, you might have a youngster want to play and cannot play. You might have a 19-year-old that wants to play and cannot play. So opportunity for everybody. So I don't see any issues with that.
Okay. See, Chris Wayne says this, like champs, class 1, class 2. So you don't have certain ages participating with certain ages. That's what I'm thinking, because how the system is right now, though, certain schools have a bigger advantage. So if you have, like, because remember, not all the schools have six forms, you know.
Mhm.
I think they started, some of the school recently started some CAP program that allows certain kids to do a program at the school that is not sixth form, but they could still play. But because prior to that, what you had is that many schools, I remember it's a cut out the repeat system. So you can't you don't get to repeat anymore. So say you do GSAT at 11, you get placed in a high school at 11. When you are 16, you're in fifth form, exiting the school. So your final year Manning Cup, if you're in a school with up to fifth form, you could be playing against a person who is doing upper six, who is, at one of the more traditional schools, who is like 3 years older than you. Because your school don't have sixth form. The only way it would work for you is if you're good enough now to move from that school to a sixth form school. And
Yeah.
that sometimes is what I think, like, there's an unfairness in the system, and probably certain schools will not be able to win it because they don't get to go up to a certain age group.
Definitely. And I think that
Yeah,
that's
good
one of the
good
biggest
point.
problems um when it comes to schools flourishing, and a lot of schools flourish in schoolboy football competition because of that. The availability of sixth form, to matriculate and continue playing, because a lot of these kids want to, as much as, and not all of them will, but a lot of them want to become professional football players. It's just like the NBA, not all children are going to get drafted, but a lot of them want to become professional basketball players in the NBA. So I think that is also, so I believe that is a big problem where that is concerned. That is why a JC, a Georges, a Woolmers, KC are getting these players, because there are some schools that don't have that sixth form program, and those schools like the KC and the JC, especially when you have that talent that they believe that you can possess for them to get over the hump, then that is when they bring you in, and that is a big problem. One point before I go, because I have to leave.
Yeah,
I think that I think that the age thing is somewhat of a problem to me, and here's why I think it is a problem. Right, 19-year-olds nowadays don't look like the 19-year-olds when we were 19-year-old. And I mean, I know that you guys are older than me. I understand that. I'm just 26 years old. I'm a young man in this world. But 7 years ago, when I was 19, I it's 19-year-olds look like me now. I see a 19-year-old that is going to St. Elizabeth Technical, and I can guarantee you that that brother look older than me. I can guarantee you that that brother looks older than me. I think that there should be some more development at the schoolboy level, and here's what I mean. Now there is some sort of class 1 and class 2. You have Colts, you have Pepsi, and you have Manning Cup. I just believe that at 18, you cut it this up. I just believe that at 18, you cut it this up. Because just like America, just like even at some points, England, Russia, many different sporting countries around the world, Germany, they don't have players at 19 playing schoolboy football, At 19, you're not playing schoolboy football level. Some of them, even at 16, you're not playing schoolboy football level. You're going to play professional. And I think that is one also the problem. We are giving these schoolboys a mindset that at 19, they still can be playing schoolboy football. We're not giving them a mindset that, listen, at 19, I can be playing in another country. At 19, I can be playing for a professional club. At 19, I can be even in an academy playing for under 23. We're not giving them that mindset, and I think that is one of the main problems that we have with this schoolboy football system. And it starts with the fact that up to 19-year-old, at 19 years old, you're still playing schoolboy football, and 15-year-olds not able to get the opportunity as the 19-year-old, because remember, the 19-year-olds most times in these schoolboy football system are the ones that get featured the most. I think that's a problem for me.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up this comment, right? And then I'm going to ask CC. Chris, I know you have to go, right? People, please remember to always check out Chris, the sports guy, right? He's always over there on Sundays at around 4 in particular.
Yes, I'm actually going to I'm supposed to have a big interview lined up with one of the schoolboy football coaches this Sunday and Boxing Day. So ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss that one. So stay tuned.
Yeah, man. All right. Thanks, Chris. From Sportsman,
no problem.
Sports guy. Yeah, man. No respect. Blessed,
yeah.
Bro. All right. So I have this. This is Mr. Everton Burke. He's from Dintil. I think he's a team manager there. So he says this has no grounds about the level of age in, I think he's saying schoolboy football, because if a student is 12 or 13 years old and is competent enough to compete with 19 years olds, then that shouldn't be a problem. My team has 4 13-year-olds. So he's saying that age should not be a problem, because if a 13-year-old is good enough, he should play. All right? And still be able to play his 13-year-old competition, the under 14 competition. I agree with that, I'm in complete agreement with a talented 13-year-old playing. What I have a problem with is that not all schools will get 19 years old. Only certain schools now in the present system will have 19 years. For too long, only certain schools can have 19 years old. But Eddie, what do you have to say on this matter? Again, and in light of this comment from Mr. Burke from Dintil.
Well, like you, I agree with the fact that the 12-year-old or 13-year-old should be able to play, or even in two competitions. In terms of the 19-year-old, I guess that's why a lot of schools used to repeat the players, repeat the ballers. Some of them repeating 2 3 years just to play football, to kind of bridge that gap, because they weren't in the sixth forms. So I think that's one of the ways in which they try to bridge the gap. But it's a clear advantage, not having the sixth form. You have less players to pick from, essentially. But that's just the way it is. Until we get a system where all the schools are on one level, you're going to continue to have that.
You're going to always lose your older players. CC, the man from Clarendon College,
Man, one college.
Finally, you made the semifinals
Listen,
by luck, by buck-ups or prayers. I don't know, or by okay, which one?
we are the defending double champ, back-to-back champions. So at the end of the day, when you're speaking about my team, please put some
Who did you,
RESPECT on our name, manage.
who did you
Put some
beat in
respect.
2018 again?
Who I beat in 2018?
Yes.
History don't remember the losers. Only
Well,
the victors.
it's a good thing that you're CC and not history, so you should remember.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah. You wouldn't,
You,
something
you,
don't
don't,
do it,
you,
man.
don't, you don't remember.
I don't, where some I don't remember. Anyway, I was there, Mannings.
You don't
At
remember.
the stadium.
You're trying to remember who CC. It was not played at the National Stadium.
Something the man are catching all.
Who did you play in 2018?
Who didn't play
Carnival.
again? Yeah.
Carnival beat, man.
You beat Carnival
Yeah, Carnival.
with Jocombo.
I don't know name saying but we beat Carnival.
And who you beat in 2019?
The team the team that you face.
Didn't you?
Didn't.
All right.
Okay. Anyway.
So I mean, I heard from your coach and Rose that player that moved from Woolmers to Clarendon College. I mean, now that you're in the semifinals, what say you on this matter? Clarendon College has long had sixth form taking on people and
Oh
so
yeah, but the thing about it is no, man, you have to understand it's not six form only, Why repeating players wasn't about not having six form. Because schools with six form repeated players. Repeating players was more than that. Repeating players was even the fact that if you couldn't pass a certain amount of subject. So for example, man, they reach fifth form. Remember that they need certain subjects to go to sixth form. So
yeah.
if you don't acquire those subjects, then the school repeat. Then you get a repeat and you play again and you do some more subjects. So
Which school that you're talking about? Not
I'm,
man, not
yeah,
man.
man, I'm saying that it happens.
If that
It might
happens,
not happen at Mannings, but I'm saying to you that it happens.
if that happens at Mannings, you have to find a next school.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you that
It happens,
remember,
man.
Mannings, when most of the players who plays football, and this is no discrimination, most of the players, you have some that are brilliant, but you have some that are not as quick as the rest, or some of them probably not as interested in the academia side of things. So they tend to not get the amount of subjects required. Because what enough school, a lot of school does. See in the preseason when you see one 40-man squad, by the time preseason done, when 6 years result come out, that squad become 10 man.
Right, because people did not get their subjects.
Because 30 out of the 40 did not get their
Mhm.
subjects. You
Okay.
understand? So that is what happens to a lot of the teams where schools with six form still repeated players. I've seen players being repeated 3 times in a one grade. And
Isn't
then
there a rule against that though?
that's when the rule kicked in.
Okay.
That's when the rule kicked in. But what I would say, Mannings, is this. When I was going to Clarendon College, what I normally see they do, if you're in 7th grade and 8th grade, they don't play Dakasta Cup. Period. There's no player in 8th grade or 7th grade who plays Dakasta Cup. But they will play you if you're in 9th grade. So they will select the best players in 9th grade and play them in the Acosta Cup. They also play under 16. But the majority of the team is from 10th grade to 6th form. So depending on how your school is set up, Carl Lennon, for example, never had 6th form at one point in time. So maybe they had to repeat the players from early. But what you do is repeat the player in 9th grade. Then you repeat the player in 10th grade. You don't need any more repeating. But what happens though, man, is I think repeating the player, I don't know if I think you can have a ban on it if you repeat them 3 times in one grade. But I think two repeat in a grade if you don't want six form. I don't see an issue with it, You know why? A lot of times some players end up repeating and get other subjects and that allows them to matriculate in some other job in the work world other than playing football. I've seen it where persons become police or other things because they had repeated and acquired other subjects. So they did not, because I see persons who have not gotten repeat and then just drop out of school. So they're just dear mannings, may I tell us, because they haven't gotten a repeat, or they went back to some other institution that is not necessarily, they don't have the opportunity to play in the Dakar Cup. So it's like you're just sending them out there. So it's just the abuse of the system by the schools where you're trying to use the player in terms of repeating them just for football. But if you're repeating them and then they're getting additional subjects, then I don't see. And remember now, the mornings, the government now is instituting, mandating that
Yeah,
you leave high school when you're 21. So,
it's
and
20.
yeah,
No man, it's at 21.
no, but
Big
I'm
adult.
saying 7 years. So if you're saying 7 years and there's no sixth form in the school, yeah, it's a
No, no,
cannot.
no, 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 no. What they're going to do is add two other, even if you don't call it six forms, there's going to
Yeah,
be
but
some,
that's why I
To,
say
to other grade.
like associate degrees or some, some of the programs that Heart offers. In other words, what they want to do, they're trying to ensure that when you leave in school, you leave with a skill or a trade, and
Yeah,
those
you
two
have something.
additional, yeah, those 2 additional years, yeah, would do that. I, this is where it's. I
see,
don't.
Claudia said 5 of them did 9 class.
Yeah, she said she had 5 in her class. But she came down, which is what normally happens though, is that what happens is that when you have people repeat several times, they don't go to the classes. So the idea that somehow it benefits education is flawed.
No, it benefits the school more than anything else.
There you go.
You might have certain cases where the player, the student wants to get the subject, but majority of the time it's just there for the sport.
Yeah, but I think it's just persons have a look at it. For example, I know players. I know a guy that when I went to fifth farm, he repeated. So he was in fourth farm. He didn't. I don't think he had came to sixth farm. But what happened is that he had to get some more grades. But you know what happened, man? Is he get him scholarship. He went to university. He went. I think he left and went to Manchester at sixth farm. Both of them, and then they went to the US and went to college, got their degrees. One I think is still in sports administrator. I'm not sure what the other player is doing right now, but the
Yeah,
thing about it is it benefited them, but they actually saw where the opportunity was to get more subjects. But then you have some baller, them just really not them not come on a class, man.
yeah,
It's just girl. You see me? It's just the swag. It's just the swag.
yeah. I think let me just take a couple of comments, and then Eddie, you said something very important earlier, and I think Gunner's boss responded to it. Where he said that I think it was St. Mary about them not being invited back into the competition. And he's saying that they need to come back in because we can't have the kids be losers. We have to teach them how to fight and come back and get better.
Mhm.
So there was a group of persons who think that they should not have gone out in the first place. They should have stayed and fought. But I understand that there were other reasons, outside of footballing reasons. It had to do more with vaccination, more so than anything else, which was a major factor in it. I
Okay.
mean, yeah. I mean, I know you probably were just
It's tongue in cheek.
yeah,
Tongue
yeah.
in cheek.
Man, you see this comment?
Which one?
You
Yeah.
remember? You see what you say? You see, I don't know if any other school in that zone except for outside probably Carnival College made could have the game rescheduled.
Yeah, but I told the guys that there are certain schools. This is a problem with ISA. The powers that be, certain schools have certain privileges. It's just the
Yep.
way, right? You understand me? Like,
This you have couple stomach bug and a problem now with put off match.
yeah. But have you been watching the competition? Have you been in tune with the schoolboy competition, Eddie?
No, not as much.
What you don't like schoolboy football?
No, man. No, I'm busy with work
Oh, okay.
in the field every day, so I don't get a chance to really look at the
I was
games.
just saying maybe Eddie got overly.
No, man. I go top school.
Ah,
I go top school. Top school. St. Jago. Top
Oh,
school.
okay. You know what he's doing? He's mocking Unseen because Unseen on here giving some problems. And the found out that he went to Oberlin, and then the conversation kind of,
yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, Gunners boss, we did put some respect on Charlie Smith High School because they're like you'd call what people would call the underdogs because no one expected them to be here. And they are here. But again, sometimes when it gets to this part of competition, the teams that are more organized also remember that the competition goes on a break. And I was saying to someone that it is what happens, how the schools are able to manage what happens with the teams during this festive season. Because if you have your players up and down and all about eating all kind of things, going to all kind of party, for this couple of weeks. You're not going to have a preseason. Once January comes in, it's competition again. So what
Or
you
a
need,
mid-season.
yeah, what are you going to do with your team in these 2 weeks? It's going to be critical, I think, in terms of what happens afterward. But I don't know how much, but what I'm asking people, there is a national team that has been called up. Is it that our schoolboy are not so good? Why not one schoolboy has been called to the team?
What as you talk about that, man, is remember I was saying the other night, the guy named if you even see the guy named Pearson, I look at the guy and I say, no man, he look
From
like a
KC.
class.
From KC.
Yeah, the man look like me and my
Me
classmate.
see him, man. Him bad. Him bad.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you
he's
tough.
not talking about how bad he is, Eddie. He's talking about how big he is.
Oh, big. Yeah, man. Big in a body,
So
everything.
I was saying, man, this is the same thing that I'm saying, right? Friendly games to me is games where you can expose certain players. Not saying we're saying that we're taking the national team as a development tool, but this is the way you try to expose the young players. A guy like Pearson, when you're searching for a holding midfielder, right? And that's where he plays. He plays all in midfield. I think it's just that he has the technical ability to get forward as well. So he has the technical ability to be a central midfield player and not just a regular CDM or a holding confined to a holding midfield player. So I think, if you're calling up a team, I think you should look at either him or the other gentleman by the name of Duncan Mackenzie. But one of these guys should have been called up in the team
I, I,
because
I think
I
him,
don't. I don't
Tariq,
think it's JFF.
huh?
No, I'm saying I don't think. In terms of you ask a question if the players are not good enough. I think you might find players that are good enough, but I don't think the JFF is looking in the schoolboy direction. That's the issue. They're
But
not looking to carry a schoolboy player with them.
I said it at the beginning of my show. More than 11 players played in the JPL. Like Tariq Zeminis from JC played for Harborview and he plays for JC. Pearson played for Harborview and he's at KC. You have the guy from Cavaliers who also played for Calabar. Oh geez, how can I forget his name?
Mannings, you know what I think should happen? Some of
Uh,
these clubs should.
Christopher Ainsworth. You have the sorry, CC, you have the center back at Rochester at Georges. He played in the Premier League. You have the twins at the twins are at Garvey Marseille. They played for Veer in the league. So I'm saying that there are players who played JPL as well. And I'm saying in a time when you're not inviting anyone from out of Europe really, because all of them have window, you're using USL players and JPL players just to look at them. Couldn't there have been at least, because remember it's really to look at the players to see if they are good enough. So why not call at least one of them? Here someone said, yeah, someone saying again, Kelson at Arnett Gardens and Calabar. That's a Calabar, the guy Kelson. So there are several.
What I think,
Oh, Lennon,
Mannings,
the twins, sorry, the twins play for Lennon, not Garvey. There we go.
what I think should happen is that a lot of these clubs should have an affiliation with the school. Because I tell people as
No man,
well,
no man, CC, we're gonna get to that though, but I want to get back to the national program.
yeah, for the national program they
Because
should.
hold on, because and then I'm gonna get the point I am making, Eddie and CC, is this is not it's not an official FIFA window, one. So even the Peru team will be primarily players in Peru who had a recent coaching change. So they are looking at players because all their European players will not be available either. So it's a nothing game really. So this is the time that you look for, and I figure that some of the people they call are not going to come either ways. So should this be a time for us to look? Listen, let's see if we can find a 19-year-old, a 18-year-old, and probably a 17-year-old in the league to bring them into the squad. Even if they don't make it, at least we'd have seen something of them. Paul would have for 2026 if he's going to be around. So just respond to that, CC, and then they can go in, and then I'll have Eddie. Or maybe Eddie should go first and then CC, because I know you have a point that you want to go on to.
Yeah, man. Go
ahead, Eddie.
It sounds good on paper, Mannings. It sounds good on paper, but I think in reality, we won't see that happening. We can get a one player to go, but as I said before, the JFF is not looking at the schoolboy football or those younger players. I don't think they're looking at them. There's a lot of players, that play in MLS and Central America and other areas where they might be looking at more experienced players and players that they might see them using, going forward. So this is more of a long term. I think probably in other matches, say for instance, we don't qualify for the World Cup and we have other friendly games. I think that's the best time for us to look at these youngsters that you talk about.
Okay. All right, go ahead now, CC.
A game like the Peru game, in terms of, as I said, I think the midfield part to me, Mannings, is where I'm having the big issue, right? I remember when where was it? It was something like Germany, and you was there, people were saying Germany is our best midfield, our best attacking midfield player and stuff. And I was saying that at 34, if Germany is the best, then we're in trouble for the next decade. And so said, so done. Because at the end of the day, you're not replenishing your system. So at all in midfield, we have been having an issue, years on top of years on top of years. So to me, these are the type of games that you experiment and see if you can find a diamond in the rough. So like a Pearson and those guys, remember, you're not looking for somebody that is fully, you're looking for somebody that will give you 10 out of 10 performance. You're looking to see a glimmer of hope where you're saying that, all right, I can work with this player and bring him up to a certain level. Because remember that the player will go back and play club football and up his level. But you're looking at him when you have the unofficial windows where you have access to this type of player outside the access to the European players. So as I said, man, I think a player like Pearson should get a card up to the national program. A player like Duncan McKenzie right now should get a call up.
Well, but like Eddie says, I don't know. Here's where I agree with Eddie. Right now, I'm trying to qualify for the World Cup. That's the immediate plan. So I am looking for the best players playing at the highest level.
But I want to ask you a question, Mannings.
Yeah.
Which club Ricardo Pepe? What is his name? The American foul.
Yeah.
Which club he plays for?
He's playing in club. No,
I'm asking a question. No, the reason I ask the question now, at the point in time when he scored those 2 goals against Jamaica, he was 18,
Yeah, but
at that point in time, he only played.
No. Age. We're not talking about the age of the players. We're talking about the competition that the players are playing in.
I'm asking which competition is he playing in?
MLS. He was playing in MLS.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, it's just the same, because the thing about it is, even though he's playing in MLS and he came to the team, I'm saying to you, Mannings, you just made the point. Even though, remember, MLS is their local league, right?
No, but all right.
Look at it like this, Mannings. Look at it like you have purchasing power parity. MLS is USA's local league. US have access to players in Europe, multiple players. They had access to players that they didn't have to call a player from MLS. They don't have to use a player from the MLS. They chose to use an 18-year-old from the MLS. So why can't we use a young player from the JPL? It
All
is
right.
our local league.
They are
You want me
using.
to answer that?
Go ahead, Eddie.
No, for one, doing a CC, you're looking at the levels of the league. MLS is a much, much better league than our JPL.
Way
So
better.
hence you will get better quality players. So even though he's 18-year-old, it's going to be better than our 18-year-olds.
No, I don't
You
say
know what I
no,
mean?
no.
So
I
it's
was
easier
saying,
for them to look in MLS and pick a player. It's much,
no,
much
but
harder for us.
I was just gearing it towards they have players in Europe, but they chose to use this player,
Why?
right?
Because when they come back to the same point, though, CC, that because MLS is such high quality, you can do that.
Yeah, it don't make a difference for them.
Only
Only
that,
that is looking,
not only that,
Mullins.
no, not only that, but they are calling 18-year-olds from the JPL. They are. Like
Who they call?
uh
Oh,
kid,
Devante.
Devante, the guy from Mount Pleasant, Devante Campbell. They are calling. They
Yeah,
went busy Atkinson.
Wellington got a run out for the US game in
I guess
Austria.
I think what happens. I think what's going against Pearson is that he played Major League and he didn't play Premier League because he's at Santos.
There you go.
So
Here's a
I
good
think
question Cranky's asking. Has Pearson done enough? He wasn't even
he
starting.
didn't play. He didn't play. He don't play. He played for
Yeah.
Santos.
Huh?
So he plays for Santos.
There you go.
So
So
unless Santos
Yeah,
releases him or
and
loans him, he doesn't play in the JPL.
and can he make the team based on his Manning Cup, you know, experience? That's the next thing, you know.
That is the next thing.
Yeah,
and then
even
remember, yeah, and then what they'll be looking at is that you have other players like a Dwayne Busy Atkinson, a Christo J. Daly. These are players 19 years old too, who are playing full-time JPL. So why would they bypass a 19-year-old who playing at that level for a 19-year-old in the same position, playing in schoolboy
yeah.
football easy? That's it. That's probably really what it boils down to.
But to be, yeah, I guess that's what it boils down to. The problem though in the mornings is that I think we have to look at our landscape, right? Because if I realize everybody's landscape is different, it's not like the Spanish landscape where you had Cesc Fabregas at 16 playing for Arsenal. It's not like is it? It's a the landscape is kind of different. Our landscape is schoolboy football, Jamaica Premier League. That is our landscape. Schoolboy football as a youth development and Jamaica Premier League, whether people like it or not. The schoolboy football show you the talent.
And Corner League.
Yeah, schoolboy football and then they play carnal. But schoolboy football they play Major League and then they go something there, Jamaica Premier League. So that is how the talent has been developed. Because as I said before, Mannings, what I think they should do is certain clubs should be associated with certain schools. So I think to me, some of the players should be training at a club, but the club can be the cost. Then I think because most of this, some of these schools have this. If the old boys and a lot of these associations are so into the development of the kids, right? The cost that it would take to train an under 20 team by the club. If the team is being trained at JC or KC or those schools, but then the players have the opportunity to play for an Harbour View, a Waterhouse or these teams, then that would offset the cost instead of the clubs have to fulfill paying for an under 20 team or a second team. Then you would
So what about the schools that are not affiliated with clubs?
remember, you know,
We're going to work that way.
there's this thing called levels. You have UTech, then UCC, and
No,
the
but
other schools. It's just how it is.
no, are you think you're gonna be fair to say, no, listen, you're gonna run in problems if you do that because
Yeah.
if for example, I remember that even some of these things there are years of success and years of rebuilding and failure. For example, say Mannings were say that we're going to be connected to Reno and we become a feeder for Reno. You don't think like at some point the From the Petersfield, the Rossies footballers will have a problem with that and don't want. You have to look at those things too, because it's like this very small
No, but
environment.
Petersfield, Rossies, and from they can be aligned with you have Wadada and the other
Yeah,
teams
but
in the
no,
West.
that's in St. James. That is man. Yeah,
But that those teams now should up their level to get to the. To me, let me show you, man. What is my plan? I'm gonna show you. My thing is 16 teams in the league. 16 teams, right? Expand the league to 16 teams, have 16 and 32 games over a season. After 16 teams, these teams can be affiliated with schools. I'm not saying one team affiliated with that one specific school, but based on how our landscape is, the money is in the schools to
No,
to develop
all
the
right.
players.
You're
The
going.
money is in the school.
What I'm saying to you is that when I all right. So like my school is in the semifinals. All right. There may be persons aligned to Mannings, past students, who are so excited that they say, "Hey, man, I want to give this amount of money to that amount because it is this, exciting time, and people want to give." You tell that same person that, "Hey, you know that this money going to develop this youth so that him can go and play for arena." The man say, "What? No, at my school, people are not loyal to the local clubs in Jamaica for the most part. They are loyal to their schools. And when they channel money, that's where they want it to go. That's where they want it to stay. Because we all know that you may look at Veer. Veer was very successful at champs when Ben Francis was around. Veer won every champs and every schoolboy competition.
Yeah.
Now, that has died out. What does the club do? Still stick with them?
Oh, you're saying what? I mean, yeah, it's still,
Really?
All right, listen, let me tell you the problem. To me, Mannings, if I have money and I'm pumping my money into Clarendon College, I'm not pumping it into Clarendon College solely for them to win the Costa Cup. Yes, I want them to win the Costa Cup, but I can tell you this is the reason why I think a lot of these associations have nothing. They don't believe. It's like if one of them come and tell me that they believe in the development of the kids, I'm not buying it because at the end of the day, they just want to spend the money to lift the trophy, to wave the flag, say my school won this, my school won that. And
Nothing is wrong with that. I want to do that too.
no, I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that, But I'm saying to you that Mannings, I've seen multiple guys pass through Clarendon College, persons who have won Dakasta Cup. You know what? Where I see them Mannings, them some on the street, yo, I'm done, wait. I've seen them just faded out.
Yeah, but
it's like
see,
you
all right.
use them. It's like you use them,
No,
man.
what I'm saying to you is that you are not going to school to win a trophy. So you are going to school to get an education.
No, man.
No.
Not sure something. Hold on, man. Hold on.
You are going
That's
to
another argument, you know.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Let me say it this way. You should go to school to get yourself.
Should.
You should go to school to get yourself educated. All right? And if you have to play football, you play some football.
Mannings, sometimes.
No, let me finish. Right? So you play some football. If you come out of school after spending 7 years there and don't have a skill, and you say to me, it is because I was dedicating my time to football, you should be good enough. Because if you gave up education to play football, then you should be good enough to not be on the street.
Hold on, Mannings. Mashway is a culture. It's the way the culture is built. Look at it like this. Mannings, for example, certain people carry you Mannings man come to a certain school. Their purpose of bringing you Mannings man to the school is to play football. You
So
come to the school.
You pick up my 13-year-old son. Why are you bringing him to Clarendon College?
To play football.
To play football?
Athlete, student.
Mannings, that is what happens.
Not student, athlete.
No,
athlete,
that
student.
is what happens a lot of the time. And then listen how it go now, Mannings. You come to a school who have won multiple trophies in schoolboy competition, right? They take on a certain swagger and take on the culture. And then you have some schools, the culture is some man not really go class, because baller have more privilege, or a runner have more privilege than the regular ordinary student in the school. So like the regular ordinary student probably can't go through the gate after him come in the morning time. While the baller can go through the gate, go out of the road, so go buy a juice and come back through the gate. We are the runner. So I'm saying to you that a lot of the times, even the student them take up the culture. Because remember, these are impressionable youths now.
No, so
And
follow. CC.
it has to do with the parents still in the mannings, but
I don't want to belabor this point, right? Because I want to ask a couple of things. But here's my issue. I understand that there are many kids who end up in situation where the system treated them unfairly. But listen to me. When you are 12, your parents must determine if they want you to be a professional footballer or a person with some football brain and some education, or you just want to be total brains with no sport. You make that choice. If that child stays in school for 7 years and the parent was more focused on them playing football and then they don't make it, when a past student who has made it and decide that now that I've made some money and I'm going to give back my school because I want to see trophy, don't now say that that person would have been better off by giving some money to help that youngster. He's not.
no, I'm not saying that part. No, I'm saying when they put the money in the school, it should not be solely on the basis of winning a title.
But that's what they want.
But that's what I said. But without the youth, how you go win the title?
So the youth don't have to be there. What I'm saying to you is that
a using thing, man.
no, but you don't have to be used. I am saying that you don't have to be used. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that. I'm not saying it is right, I am saying that at the end of the day, don't allow yourself to be used.
But see, like for example, Claudia was saying, Scott. What I'm saying, whatever anybody wants to say, all right. I can tell you that there's a culture. When your school wins a lot of titles, there's a culture that develops in that school. There's a culture at Calabar, there's a culture at Casey, there's a culture at JC, there's a culture at Clarendon College. That once you become a track athlete at Calabar, you are out, you're an outlier to the rest of the student body.
Like I never mentioned Jay again. But continue.
Jay have a culture too. Jay have a
Continue.
But I'm saying all of these schools that Jay go win both boys and girls champs. So you have a culture on the both side. It's not the one side. So I'm saying that. So all I'm saying is, this is a larger society. This is not unique to. So a lot of the times I said, Mannings, most of the kids come. You're saying 12 and 13. 12 and 13 probably is young, so that's a different scenario. Sometimes someone when they come at 14 and 15, may I tell you, you have persons where it's like a man that class and you say a man that training or something. A cuss and what it's like it's supposed to be a training. You can't skip training. Let me tell you the man, there are some players because of how you are brought in the school, you can't skip training or you can't decide say you're not playing football anymore in the mornings.
Yeah.
Because if you're not playing football anymore, you can't be at this institution.
Yeah, sometimes it's almost as if they're there on scholarships because certain players they get their lunch, they get the boarding if they're coming from country, so they get certain treatment. So once you stop playing ball, all of that now.
Play ball, you have to find.
That's it. Yeah, you have to find everything, find a bus fare, find everything.
And then sometimes you leave a town, so you probably enough have to go back a town because you can't stay at the school if a country school.
Yeah.
It makes a very valid point. Like, so listen, you take me. So let's look at I'm highly talented. You take me from a place where my parents are doing so bad, Eddie, that you have to help me through school. My parents are doing so bad because they never had an education. Because maybe my mother was a good athlete, a good netballer, but she wasn't bright. So you take me up because I was at a place where I was going to be a failure, to put me in a school where I can get an education. Now you plan to use me to win football competitions, but it still present me with an opportunity to get myself educated. So I'm going to use your using to get an education.
Yo, I wish some
Even if the system is designed to exploit you, it still present you with an opportunity.
Opportunity, yeah.
When you get yourself educated,
you want me to tell you where most of those players are?
let me just, and then I'm going to take, because Parchment came in. When you get exploited, really, is when you don't use the opportunity, because if you brought me to the school to run champs every single year and every day, and I'm doing all of that, but I end up getting 7 subjects and I get to university, did you exploit me?
No.
No, it's
No,
a
you
win-win. Win-win.
exploited me, but I exploited you. I use your opportunity to get something out of life.
Mannings, you know where I see most of the
So it's
players end up?
mutually beneficial. But go ahead, Unseen. Let me hear from Unseen, because Unseen is a coach that recruit people too.
Yeah.
What's the question? What's the question?
Oh, you need to listen.
I'm coming late, I missed a whole heap of thing, What's the question?
No, Cece was just talking about, just how sometimes when the past student give into the school football or track and field program, that money is geared toward lifting the trophy for bragging rights. And then when school is over, some of these kids that win the trophies, they are out on the street, not formally educated, not playing football, and going through hardship. So that's what he's saying. And I'm saying that really and truly, it may be so, but these kids are still provided with an opportunity to be educated, though the system may be designed to exploit them. So they can also take it as an opportunity. That's my counter to what he's saying.
Yeah, some of the systems are designed that way. They take the kids and their only focus is for them to play football, not education. But the kid, the player must have it in their back of their head that, come on, you need education with your football skills to function in the outside world. And the parents supposed to know that too as well. So at the end of the day, you get an opportunity like that, you should know that no care what the person who carrying the system has said to you, you have to take your book. Now, you have some players who can't take them books still, So them have to actually focus on in football 100% so that them can get a break from that. But there comes the problem now. So when football finish, the past student don't send them out or try do anything for them to get break in football outside. So that's the problem. A brighter one now, can leave on him own and go find a club or get a scholarship overseas to get in a better system. But the one who don't have the education, you must forget the help from the past student when this football season done. And that's where they left them stranded.
All right. So what Cranky is saying is that it is unfair to expect kids with challenging background and inadequate support system to make decisions which are in their long term best interest. And I understand that if you're coming from a certain background, to make certain decisions will pose a problem. I understand that. All right. But I think a lot of the schools, though, even the principals and teachers within those schools, many times, Claudia can attest to this because she was a teacher in the system. A lot of teachers will emphasize to these kids the need to do schoolwork. Now, if a child have learning disabilities and they cannot, all right, even if they get the opportunity to play football in the school, right? When you should be so focused on playing it so well that when school is finished, you're so good at it that you're seen by somebody. And that is where I think just at a larger level, what maybe needs to happen is that we have more football showcases where scouts, like at the end of every season, there should be like a Western team, a Eastern team, a Northern team, and a Southern team. You get some of the better players and you play a tournament and you bring in scouts from Europe, agents from Europe, persons from college systems to look at some of the players over a weekend. So and if you don't make that, if you don't make that and you don't make a Jamaica Premier League team, you can't make a community team. You should have picked up your book.
Mannings,
You mean you're not good?
yeah, let me tell you what the problem is though, Mannings. It to me, I think we as a country is too limited in terms of what we think should be a career or what we think is viable or suitable, what is looked upon or what is looked down on, right? Because if I realize they're turning every schools into high school, that is the mandate. They're turning every school into high schools. There's no more technical schools, or there no more this and that. So, in order for a student to learn even a skill or a trade, then, right, they would have to go to an art academy. Sometimes if his skill is in the school, it's easier to teach me if it is right here than to ask me to when I finish high school I should leave and go to this place. If I don't have the ambition to leave and go to another place, man, you know what I will do? Not go nowhere. I will go nowhere. But if it is there, if it is there in the school, then I would do it. So to me, it's the options that they give most of the kids. Because I'm telling you, this is the reason why that they said don't a dunce man play football or a dunce man do sports. Because it sounds a way like it is prejudicial, but a lot of the times it's not the brightest minds play football in the school, play sports in the school. We can tell you that. It's not the brightest minds, Mannings.
It depends on
Playing
which school you're talking, though. That's what I'm saying to you.
Mannings, no matter what they want to say about any school where you go, it's not the brightest minds. Remember, because you probably maybe because you are at a school, Mannings, that it has multiple bright minds, then but it's not the brightest minds. If you probably look at a campaign, it's not the brightest minds in campaign play football, but then you cannot say because they might have 99.
No, I can't agree with that, man. I can't agree with that, bro.
No, I'm saying to you, Mannings. All right, look at it like this. At my school, the persons who did school challenge quiz weren't the brightest in the school.
All right,
It's just the people who had the most time.
Okay.
It's the people who had the most time.
I hear you know. I hear you know, and I understand.
I'm not saying that they're not brilliant in the Mannings. They're brilliant, but they are not the most. They're not the 1%er in the school.
All right. So I'm going to take I want somebody's response to top 10 that education is overrated. Listen, what I can say is education is not overrated. You can probably say having multiple subjects could be considered overrated, but education to be educated cannot be overrated. Top 10. Careful now. You were saying something, Parchment.
No, but if you say education, why didn't because sports come on education?
Yes, yeah.
So you want to say academia.
Yeah, maybe he's talking that aspect of it. When they go home, do they play sport or study, and what support do they have at home to help with schoolwork or mandate that they do such work? All right, I can tell you this, like with some of the schools, and I can speak for certain schools. I probably can't speak for Mannings. They will even have past students, and I know Casey has done this before, and Calabar. They have past students to come in and work with the kids because I have evidence of that. I can speak to Casey, Mannings, and Calabar.
That they will. Yeah, I can speak of Calabar. Calabar do it a lot.
They have, if they know that they're having challenges. So sometimes it is the will of the kids and the parents. Because a lot of these schools, when we say they exploit the kids, they really give the kids an opportunity. They give the kids an opportunity. They provide past students come in, and they may not give them money, but they try to teach them stuff. And I will tell you this: more successes have come through like the systems at KC than failures. Same thing at the Georges and the Woolmers. They have had more successes of meaning taking up kids who never had an opportunity, gave them an opportunity, and some fell through the cracks, and some of that had to do with some of the kids not motivated because you have two. I know two youth, two big baller, and one went down, one went up. Both of them living in the same community. They were brought into I getting an echo or a feedback. Like you, but right? They were brought into what is they were brought from the same community to represent the school. Right? Live same place, kind of like similar setting. One went on to college overseas, working big time now. The other one stopped not even playing football. Both live in a single parent with their mother. So it is it is hard. I'm going to tell you this. And then I'm going to take a couple more comments and then I'll get to you guys. Says most schools have guidance counselors. This should be their function to help players who are academically weak. All right. Claudia G says teachers underpaid and overworked. Try our level best to emphasize the value of education. After a time, you get burned out and leave. I'm suspecting Claudia said she just got burnt out and just left the system. In JA, we set our academic standards too low. Those kids in Europe, big clubs, academics are smart for most part. The man, right, man, a nerd no play football. No, man. Who said nerd? He, he never. We're not talking about nerds. You're talking about Let me give you. I'm not going to call the names. This player from Mannings have 4 CSEC, 4 Cape level 1, 4 Cape level 2. This one have 8 CSEC, and I'm talking about distinctions. 4 Cape 1. All right. Let me just go through and just. This is on the present football team. This one have 10 CSEC, 4 Cape Unit 1, 4 Cape Unit 2. All right, let's go through because I have some of the players' information. All right. This one has 4 CSEC and 4 Cape Unit Level 1. Right? This is a 15-year-old, and so far he has 3 CSEC. So he took some exams already. All right. This other one, next youngster, he has 3 CSEC subjects already. All right. This one has 6 CSEC subjects. This one have 8. And I can go on and on. There are many more names and stuff. This one have 9 and 4 Cape level 1, 4 Cape level 2. All right, this one have 10 CSEC, 4 Cape level 1. 9. And I know there are other schools who are like that, right? And some of these kids are coming out of not the most ideal situation.
Manins, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah. They're not nerds, but they're very smart.
Manins, if you're in sixth form at a Clarendon College, at a Glenmuir, at a Manins as they put it, you will have subjects. You will have subjects, Manins. You have to have subjects. As a matter of fact, at Clarendon College, you can't have less than 5 subjects to go to sixth form, and you have to have math and English. You see, math and English is automatic, and you have to have no less than 5 subjects to go to qualify for a sixth form. Basically, qualify for an interview. So it's not even automatic that they get in. But if you're a football player and you have 6, if you have 5 subjects, I have math and English, they will let you in. So that's a different scenario. But even an ordinary student, if you have 5 subjects and you have math and English,
No, man, we don't want. No, man, we don't. I don't want stray from the point.
No, I'm not straying from the point in the Mannings. I'm trying to say to you that the schools that have 6 forms are the school that I know of. Most of the guys have subjects. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying to you, I was just saying to you that a lot of the times there's choices being made where sometimes the kids tend to make the wrong choice and play and predominantly focus on football and the glamorous side of high school life in terms of sports, in terms of being a sports athlete, student athlete. So there's a glamorous side of it. But outside of the school, when you graduate or you left high school, then that's where the reality is, and it's harder to it's harder to like pick up the pieces after that. So that's just what I was saying.
See, the The problem is, Manning's one. So the problem is when you finish, the Manning Cup and you're supposed to transition into a club system or a college system, that's where, or to academy or somewhere in England or anywhere in the world, that's where the problem is. Jamaica don't really have that sports management system that will, take up a youth and or some of the past students, after them, some of them met philosophies when schoolboy football done, that's it. So that's where some of them get stranded and they get leave out.
Yeah. All right, let me see a couple of things. One, because some of these comments are interesting. Listen, let me tell you, Jamaican youths. Oh, Cranky said that money school emphasize um academics before sports. Well, which is true still. You understand me? All right. That is true still. So I think that's what he's saying. At Manning's, that's what we do. But let me take this one. All right. Top 10. I agree that education is not the key, is not the only key to success. It is one of the keys to success. All right. And we're talking about education. Education is not just being educated formally through a schooling system. If you are say a plumber, being educated means that you understand how to be the greatest or the best plumber. The more educated you are in that field is important. If you're a barber, you need to be educated in it in terms of what is the best shear to use, the best oil to use in the person here, how to get the best line. That is a form of education. So truly, when you look at it, education is important to be successful at anything. If you talk about football, you have to be educated on the sport in terms of how to play it, the system, the styles, the moments, all of those things. It is a form. So what you're saying is that maybe getting a formal like degrees and those things may not, it is not the only way to succeed in life. Maybe that is what you mean. But whatever field you're working in, you must be educated. I am telling you. Cranky, I'm not going to put up a comment about Calabar because I don't want to get in any problems in anybody from Calabar. You understand me? I don't know. I don't know that, except I know that some of the brightest minds they say in Jamaica, they are from Calabar. I will leave it at that.
Look at this. May I show you something, Mannings? Of the top 10 schools in Jamaica, because you know them use 60 for rank for the man. The top 10 schools, how many titles? As a matter of fact, good that if watch how many titles, because half if not more, is all girls school, is female schools. Then you will find a Glenmore in the top 10. How
Yeah.
many? See, you realize that
What I'm saying to you, Cece, when you look at that top 10 thing, there are many variables because one, there are some lists that they have Mannings in the top 10 because of what the Cape results are. Then some they do it based on the CSEC result and they are not in it. Some they do it over. So they are different. I can find different top 10s with different schools. But you're right that you'll probably see Immaculate and Campion at the top of that list.
no, I was trying to say to you that Mannings is not even immaculate and campaign. I'm trying to say that when I look at the schools that have dominated sports, you know where they are in those lists? Any which list you put up academics wise, they're not top 20. They're not top 25. You will find any of you twist the list, Mannings is
No,
going
no,
to be well
no.
on any twist the list, Mannings is going to be top 25. Mannings is right there in the top 25.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, man.
any how you put the list, keep CSEC, anywhere you want to put the list. But any how you put the list, keep or CSEC, the schools that have dominated, the schools with 31 titles in this, 25 titles in that, you won't find them up there when you are ranked the academia as well. Yeah, it's just how it is. So I'm wondering why is that so? If it is that the as I said, most of these schools, when their focus is predominantly sports and they're in the business of winning champs and winning Manning Cup and Dakasta Cup, they
Somebody
tend
correct me. You're saying that KC has been in the top 20 at times.
it has been in the top 20 at times. Well, I won't doubt that, but I'm just trying to say to you that most of these schools that have
And
predominant
And the truth is, Woolmer's boys has been in there. Yeah, Woolmer's boys have been in some of them. Or could be Woolmer's girls. I don't know.
Someone is one. Is it that being balanced? Is it being one-sided better for a school or being balanced?
Wolmer's boys and George's normally.
Listen. All right.
Wolmer's boys, Mannings and St. George's College, when it comes on to academia and sports, is more balanced than most of the schools in town, or if not all of the other schools in town.
But the KC people tell you that they are very balanced.
I'm not saying that they're not balanced now, but I'm saying to you that when it comes on to the measuring stick that is there.
Everybody start bringing their school, but they said JC too. They say every school gonna get pop up.
Man about JC too. JC, brother, JC has struggled to make a list, brother.
So what I'll say that Unseen just asked a very important question. Sorry, made that very important. Go ahead again, Unseen. I'll make a point.
So I'm saying, is it that it should be one-sided or it should be balanced for the school, whether sports and academia?
All right, let me say it this way. All right, so here's what. Like, I don't think certain schools, it depends. A lot of things, it have to do with one, the principal. Some schools will have a principal who is into sport. The next principal comes there after 5 years and his focus is on education. All right. Now remember that Campion still participate in champs. Campion still participate in netball, in cricket. Campion participates in football and produce footballers. So they may not win, but a lot of these schools produce Woolmer's girls. Don't win champs, but Janelle Smith, Shelley, and Fraser Price. When last William Knibb win the Costa Cup, but then produce Usain Bolt, but they always do well. So sometimes Mannings may not win the Da Costa Cup title, as an example, but they are still competitive enough in football, providing the opportunity for the kids, but kids are being educated. I don't think any school at all should be focused. You're not an academy. You have to go education first. Education, and listen, I didn't say academics. Education must be first. If you want to do sports first, go to an academy. But if you go to school, it must be.
But even the academic education is first. Even the academic education is first. It's just to how them use psychology and get you to do your education. They say to you, do you want to when somebody give you a contract, you cannot check your money properly?
Huh?
You understand me?
No.
You understand me?
All right, no. So, all right, so I understand what you're saying. All right, so when I talk about education, what they do at Arsenal's academy is not the same as what they do as a high school in London. It's not the same. So you don't see Emil Smith Rowe doing the equivalent of what the Jamaican kids are doing in the Arsenal Academy. It's not the same. But they do have education in there. They are educated. What we are talking about is let me just say this. In Jamaica, bro, right now, I'm not telling a man not to play football because there are many opportunities. But if you're not a super talent, make sure that you get yourself properly educated through the formal education system, because it still provides opportunities. It's not the only way, it is a way.
Yeah, but as I said, Mannings, if you look at Ivy, as Standard said, if you look at Ivy League schools in the States, they don't win sports championships. So that is why I said to you that the Ivy League schools don't necessarily do well in sports. They will produce brilliant sports athletes in like ones and twos, or they will produce them, but they don't do well overall in terms of the whole thing about it. I think my school is probably balanced, but it's probably a sports school because you win champs, you win that Costa Cup multiple times, multiple champs. They win a lot of sports trophies. So at the end of the day, as I said, the Ivy League schools, the Immaculate and the and Campion, the Ivy League Jamaican high schools, you have to just call it what it is. You won't see them doing the greatest in the sports.
Virgin, what I'm saying though is that this Oberlin has a niche. No, Oberlin has a niche in
Singing.
singing. Right? So that's okay. Get your kids educated. Don't know, try and win. Listen, we have this thing, and it is general. Jamaica, we think we can win everything.
Yeah.
I think we
Man,
can.
is I'm could sing, you know, could sing. I was a part of the choir.
Well, I go Berlin, so we don't deal with that. If I said play football, now we'd have to think twice.
Listen, I think I'll say this one of my thing. We think we can. So there are schools who want to play. They want to play cricket. They want to go champs. They want to win Manning Cup. They want to. No. Maybe you need to be like Oberlin. Focus on one thing and be good at it. And then get the kids. Yeah. Maybe that's what we need to do.
Mannings, let me tell you, some persons, as I said, just want to be. Because if I say certain schools, I think I might have touched a controversial point because every man I go to them school is this or them school is that. But if you look at it, academics wise, Mannings, Glenmore the top school in Clarendon, academics wise. And I went to Clarendon College, but yet still Clarendon College is up there, but Glenmore is the top school because Glenmore's emphasis is mostly on academics. Is just recently Glenmore, like in the 2000s when they get like a Jackie Walters and stuff, they started to venture out in the Dacosta Cup like that. So I'm saying that, as I said, it depends on the principal.
Man, question to you: if you have a child, right, and that child is getting the champion average, so he's doing his PEP, and you get the champion average, right? Now he's very good at football. I have champion, you have the JC, you have Calabar, and you have KC. Which school would you send your child to?
Mannings.
Mannings is not there. Oh no, Mannings is not there.
No, see this man I go say which school win the most school challenge quiz.
Hold on. Do you know ever man's man? Is it ever that coach is man? If you're talking Everton Tomlinson, that coach is Mannings. Ever used to coach when I was on the Dacosta Cup team, man. So if that is Devon Smith, if it is ever that coach, Everton Tomlinson the coach, yeah, man, he knows me very, very well. Very, very well. If that is the same person, not sure. Yeah, go ahead. Parchment.
Yeah, so I want you to answer. I'll give you 3 schools. All right, I'll put Mannings in there and take out 1 school. I'll take out Calabar and put Mannings.
Yeah. So you have to ask the question again. You know the answer.
All right, so you choose Mannings. No, yeah. Mannings average is not big like champion, right? So what I'm saying is that people will choose the balanced school over the academia school, even though their child is bright. For as long as them good at football.
No, but do you know as well though that Campion has produced? Remember, if you listen to the program that I've been doing, they tell you about a Campion team with Robinson, Kimani Robinson, I think his name was at Campion. Campion has produced good footballers.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to do it all just like Mannings. Mannings has produced good footballers.
But what I'm saying, the school won't attract that nucleus of talent.
No, but the school don't want to
attract. It's not balanced.
No, what I'm saying to you, this school, all right. What I'm saying to you is that the school is not trying to attract a certain groupings of kids. What the school says, whoever we get, we are going to give them the best education possible. And the sports that they play in, we're going to make them be the best they can be at it. If they're winning, kudos to them. If they don't, we want to make sure that the one thing they leave the school with is being properly educated.
They will automatically leave school with education. Be bright with
Last
Nicholas.
Manning Cup 2010 team, the starting 11 in the final five has 5 and 6 more subjects. Very good, Michael Stewart. I'm telling you, there.
Mannings, no matter how the debate switch or the debate go, probably in recent times it has changed. What enough time we know.
Champion won Sunlight Cup. Go ahead. There you go.
It's institutionalized and
Anyway, Mannings, you know about the seeding in the Champions Cup,
Yeah.
right?
So we're going to touch those two things, people, and then we're going to close the show. The seeding. Two things we're going to touch. The seeding. So they have seeded KC, JC, Dintil, and Clarendon College. So those 4 teams will either go up against, like, so what that means is that 2 Costa Cup teams seeded, 2 Manning Cup. So Manning will either play KC or JC in the Flow Champions Cup. Yeah. But we go. There's one other comment from Gunner's boss that I just want to get here. Listen, me now, man, them a God for the school together. When they get to the school thing, you get heated it up. Yeah. Gunner's boss had raised an earlier comment, and we're going to take this one. But listen, people, really appreciate all the comment. Thank you for keeping it very interactive, even when I was the only person on. I really, really appreciate that. I'm trying to find a comment about the Reggae Boys, the comments that were made by the head coach. Yeah, so I'm just going to, although this is a schoolboy football show, hope I can find it. I'm not seeing it, but let me just read it. I think I have it here. I can find it here easier. Where Paul said, I'd made some comments about
Leon Bailey.
Leon Bailey, and then a couple of coaches came out and kind of spoke to the issue. So want to get your thoughts on that, and then we'll close. So it says local coaches have he's asking what's up with them. Local coaches have cautioned new Reggae Boys coach Paul all over comments that suggest he wants to center the national senior team's attack around talented winger Leon Bailey. Paul recently said that he wants the team to get more balls to the Aston Villa winger, believing he could be the catalyst for Jamaica's um failing World Cup campaign. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, man, I think they want attention. That's what I think. I think those Jamaican coaches want attention. I think they misunderstood what he's saying. Some of the things what them talk about. When you read the papers, and you hear what a Duki might say or Bradley Stewart might say. They must say like, if Leon Bailey get the ball in the defensive third, he have too much to do with him. Have too much to do with it. While if him get it, you understand? But they must understand what Paul are talking about. They want Leon Bailey to get the ball attacking third, where he can isolate defender 1v1 and get opportunity. Can't when him not the defensive third with the ball. You understand me? So I think they don't understand it. Or maybe them understand, but them just want to get some attention because Tapa is out.
Okay, that's your comment. All right, go ahead, Cece. Let me hear what you're saying.
Yeah, listen. I just think that when it comes down to certain things, right? All right. If a microphone is placed in front of you, you're going to speak. Understand? So, but I just believe that in terms of the coach saying that he wants to play through Leon Bailey and stuff. We all know how talented Leon Bailey is, and I think the coach is looking at it a point if he can get Leon Bailey going. Because what I read is that they said that you need to develop a style of play or some tactical or like a group in terms of playing. But with this with the window that is coming up, man, this thing about developing something in this short space of time, we have to get that idea out of our head. The idea is to win those games, the next 6 games. So to me, what these coaches are talking about is after the World Cup qualifying has ended. Is not during this period right now, in this interim period. So what they are alluding to when the coach said he wants to get something that center the team around Leon Bailey, I don't think he's talking about getting the team to play through one man in terms of for the future, but getting the best out of a Leon Bailey in terms of what he was able to do whilst he was at Bayer Leverkusen, and what he was able to do in the cameo that he did for Aston Villa before getting injured. So I think that is what Paul Hall is focusing on, and not necessarily saying that he wants Leon Bailey to be Lionel Messi, because I know that you can't play a football, you can't center a team around a winger. You have to more likely build a team around an attacking midfield player. So it's kind of difficult.
I have one question that I want to ask. Javan, just if you can just give me yes or no, and then I'll read something. Did you read the full article?
I summarized it. You know,
No, man. Let me ask you again. Yes or no? Did you read the
no.
full article? All right. CC, did you read the full article?
Yeah, I read the full article, But I mean, I was kind of just upset about it when I was reading it. I never did, but it just when I saw some statements, I
So let
never
me
really liked it.
so I think you guys need to sometimes we need to read before we and get it so we don't hear what people, because sometimes people end up having a discussion, which is part of the problem. So it says local coaches have cautioned. So people, let me just read the article and then you tell me if you see any major criticism on any side. Local coaches have cautioned new Reggae Boys coach Paul Hall over comments that suggest he wants to center the national senior team attack around talented winger Bailey. Hall recently stated that he wants the team to get more balls to Aston Villa winger, believing he could be the catalyst for Jamaica playing World Cup qualification campaign. The former winger himself had also said he wanted Bailey to regain that confidence um that saw him become a markman in Bundesliga before move to the English Premier League. All right. Listen now, although local coaches Bradley Stewart, Andrew Price, and Donovan Ducky agree that getting Bailey the ball more often would be a good thing, they pointed out that in modern game it can be problematic to focus your attack on one player. Price said the emphasis should be on building a team capable of defending and attacking well. All right. Listen, I'm going to pause because it looks like Claudia is going to is all right. Um, going to bed. So Claudia, Merry Christmas to you and your family. All well wishes and blessings be upon you. The grace and peace of God be upon you, manifold and plentiful. Eat a lot of Christmas cake, drink some sorrel. Make sure you come on because we're gonna have an artist on one of these days. Couple of artists are going to come on one of the shows, do some Christmas stuff. So let me just stop there and then I go on. Yeah, all man in level, Christian, we don't even get to that. But big up Claudia if you're going to bed, but we should be there. All right. So let me go on and just read this article. All right. Every coach has their philosophy, but I do not think that it is going to work for Jamaica at this point in time, said Price. The team should not focus on any one individual. He should get the team to play more in unison to get the desired result. It is more important that we all get players, that we get all players on song in a system that will enable them to get maximum points each game, he said. Price pointed out that the team possessed many quality players and that the onus is on the coach to get those players to perform and deliver. He also thinks it will be difficult to rely on Bailey, especially with his recent injury struggles. He has been plagued by injuries that has blighted his performance for the national team, Right now, he's not playing for his club, and we might not even have him for January. So you cannot look at one individual. You have to look at how you can sum up the parts and get them to play together as a unit. To say Leon is going to take us to the promised land would be foolhardy. He's one of the important cogs in the wheel, but not the only one, Price said. Stewart, a former national assistant coach, believed it would benefit the team to get Bailey more involved, but says they should try to get him the ball in ideal situation to exploit rather than just randomly finding him. All right? I am happy he recognizes that Bailey has special one-on-one skills. So yes, give him the ball, but give him the ball in situations he can exploit, he said. If you give him, all right, so I'm reading this because I don't think you can read this and anybody get a hard time. Because I don't think they were being critical. They all said they agree with Paul Hall. You muted, TC.
It's just clickbait if you really look at it. In
Yes.
terms of the article being saying local coaches warn. It's clickbait.
Exactly.
So them want you to read it, so them put
all they did, they piqued your interest.
from the topic title.
You never read the full article. If you read the full article, you'd have seen that.
But man, is what?
Yeah.
I still think that the coaches or whatever the persons who are working with the cleaner company, right? That they said some unnecessary things because
like what? What did you say for that is unnecessary?
Like I said, giving Bailey the ball randomly. Paul Hall could never mean, give Bailey.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, man. He said that. They said that.
Stewart said, "This is Bradley Stewart. I am happy he recognized that Bailey has special one-on-one skills. So yes, give him the ball, but give him the ball in situations he can exploit."
Right.
All right. He says, if you give him the ball too deep, he will have to go by marking players and covering players. While if we give him the ball in space behind the defense, he should have advantage to shoot or cut it back for other players. So he might have opportunities, he said. But just giving him the ball randomly will not work. It depends on how you're using him and what conditions can be obtained, he said. What
I think no money's one.
No, hold on. So what in that no parchment was he should not have said?
But I'm just saying that we said the part that so if you're talking about something and that's what you believe is going to happen. So if you say that the headline say Paul Hall wants Bailey to be on the ball more often, so they are thinking that Paul Hall, even in defense, Paul Hall wants Bailey to have the ball. So I'm saying when he said that about the random thing, that's unnecessary.
No, the man says, listen, you have to give Bailey the ball in these positions.
Right.
Oh, if you give him the ball in random position, just anywhere and everywhere.
Right. Someone said that unnecessary. You never said that.
That is unnecessary. Anyway, do you know though? You know what is funny? That this coach, gave Tapa a hard time when I interviewed him,
Who?
Bradley Stewart.
Right.
And Donovan Ducky when he did his interview on the platform. So their tone has not changed. Because it's not like they were saying that Tapa was doing right. They were saying that the team was not playing good and what the team was. And even Bradley Stewart was talking about he doesn't know what is going on because this is not how the team was when he was a part of it. So I don't, but maybe I see things differently. I don't think they were bashing the coach or the coach.
I think they didn't like what the coach said.
They were like the headline.
They were saying what they think the coach should do.
Right.
And the coach should have not broadcasted his tactics if it is that.
Yeah,
that is what he's going
and I think the headline is what fooled many people.
Yeah, the headline I think fooled a lot of persons are giving them the thought of what.
Yeah.
The coaches in the Bradley Stewart, Price and Duki, what they did not like is what the coach said in terms of getting Bailey more involved and interpret and it can interpret it as they're playing the ball game through Leon Bailey. So I guess they didn't like what the coach said on the basis that the coach is also broadcasting whatever tactics he plans to utilize in the coming remaining 6 games. So I think that was the big issue in terms of the coach, what they said, what the coach said. But I mean, to me, it's neither here nor there because at the end of the day, Ducky and Bonnie Bradley and something there is not coaching the team. And when the other name Stuart, with all due respect,
Price.
I not Price, but with all due respect, Bradley Stuart, them they're not going to be in the. I don't. To me, I wouldn't consider them for the job. Consider him for the job to coach the national team right now because they have had their opportunities and different time now.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. So Eddie's saying that Leon may be fit. Listen, people, I want to thank you for staying with us. It is 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's going to be like 2 hours and 30 minutes when we are finished. I want to say a big, big thank you. Thank you to every person who watched, every person who clicked, every person who shared, every person who hit that like button. Listen, your support and your love is always appreciated. For you to stick and stay for the festive season is a big deal. I also want to big up Eddie Guna from Sports Down the Middle. Listen, go and check them out. The largest in terms of subscriptions and views classic program over there. Check them out, show them some love. Then you have CC Sports Lab, just started his platform. Listen, go over there, show him some love. CC, thank you for coming on, man. I always appreciate you. He says he is from Clarendon College, but I am sure that he's from Comedy Central. That's what the CC really, really means, you know. Um, but big up, big up, big up. Then we have Unseen, the Unseen Sports. He was late here, the man who is always on the ground, getting the interviews moving up and down all around. Big up Unseen in the building. Listen, also,
Bicycle from man I ride bicycle from Linstead to Negril.
yeah, man, big up Unseen. Bless up. Thank you for
The
coming on.
fireman.
Yeah. And then also I want to big up Chris, the sports guy who was here earlier. Says he has an interview on Sunday. Make sure you check that out on his platform, Chris, the sports guy. Listen, I want to thank every single one of you for sticking and staying. Also want to thank our sponsors. Trick Nick. Trick Nick is a Jamaican owned and operated company in Canada who uses authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products, and they're offering 25% discount on all their products. Listen, all you have to do is shop at www.tricknick.ca and use the code I am sure sports001 to get your discount. And I promise you that you'll be able to win some Trick Nick products before the month is over. I don't know how long it's going to take to get to you. It takes a few days before it gets to you, but you're going to be able to win that. We have phone card giveaways coming up. You're going to give a lot of phone cards galore between now and between tomorrow and Sunday. So stick and stay. We have a big interview tomorrow. In fact, two interview tomorrow. We have interview on Friday, and that I'm telling you, it's going to be classic, people. Again, I want to big up all of you. CC, Eddie Gona, Fresh God, T Cool, big up Warren Webster, Carlton Alexander, who was here, Capo, Skipper, big up yourself. Gunners Boss, big up. De- Data Champion, top prize. Bless up yourself. Stan Cronky. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Chris Wayne. Always a pleasure. Claudia. Know you're probably in bed by now, but always respect the love and the support, my friend. All right, KS1JM. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you for all the support and all the comments. Devon Simmons. Hope you got the answer that I gave to your question. Didn't realize you were asking that of me. Okay. Yeah, man, enough respect. Thank you always for the support. Michael Smart, the JC man who wants to play Mannings. He is hoping to lose blue versus blue. Only the first blue will come out and top on the first blue is the 1738. Stephen Michel, big up yourself. I don't hear you talking about you, Edwin Allen, anymore. Look like you are in top 10 are in self-imposed exile. when it comes on to the sports discussion. Alrighty. Who else am I leaving out? I don't know. If I missed you, I missed you. Top 10. You're hiding top 10. I don't know what's going on top 10. I ain't seen you. But big up to everyone else. We are again always delighted to have you on. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the like button before you jump off the stream. And if you have not yet subscribed to the platform, make sure you do so like now. Subscriptions are important. Sharing the content is important. That's your Christmas gift to the channel. Leon Price. How could I miss out my man's followers? Crazy Yard TV. Yeah. Everton Jackson. Bless up. Marlon Morrison was also here. Alrighty. Who am I? Yeah, Glendale Facey from over there in Dintel. Jay Simmons, my other man is Parry. Enough up in the building. Bless up. And Henry is a Swan Henry. I think the name is Leighton Steele. Also chipped in for a moment or few. Bless up to every one of you and Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. If this is the last time, I'm going to see you until we meet again. I don't know that's when. But we have a wonderful Christmas kind of a concert, kind of a show coming up on Friday. It's going to be classic. We have some entertainment. I could entertain you. You never know what's going to happen. Who could be passing through? Could it be? Could it be? Yeah. All right. Bless up. Enough respect to all of you. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk in the morning. I'll leave you with a word from our sponsors. Trick Nick.
18 Jamaican herbs and spices add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce. Jamaican herbs and
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?